Okay, here's another question. So last year we also had the Deontay Johnson saga, right? Because the whole
Contract.
contract and
Highsmith.
yeah, do we get that?
No.
Okay, because
We haven't
I
gotten
would
any of it
say
up to
that
this
would probably
point.
be the only, but we ain't had that with Deontay either.
Oh, wait. This is, you're saying Highsmith not showing up.
Yeah, because remember
He's showing up.
Deontay would show up. He showed up to like I think he would come to like once a week when I was out there. It would be like once a week, but he wouldn't like.
Oh, yeah. Are these
Yeah.
mandatory or voluntary?
These are the voluntary ones. The mandatory ones are they start the second week of June.
Because he showed up for this.
Yeah, well, because mandatory, they'll fine you 30 grand a day otherwise. You know what I mean? So he pulled up to those, but for the OTA portion, he wasn't. And we obviously know it's voluntary, so it's never like we don't make it a big deal, but we know it does get talked about, and they talk about it because it's like, hey man, if everybody's out here practicing, you're not here. Why is that? You know, so that was the only other thing I could think of. I personally don't think he does it.
You're right. That would be the biggest one
That
if he didn't
would
show
for
up.
a fact be the biggest
But
one.
he's shown up.
Voluntary or not, that would be the biggest one. I wouldn't fault it because I understand
Right.
like when you're doing contract negotiations, that's a part of the players exercising their leverage. And at times you have to do that if you are in a situation where you don't feel like you're going to get compensated the way you want to. I don't think that's the case. Omar Khan was just talking again and spoke very highly of saying that he wants to get the deal done with Highsmith and stuff like that. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, but that would definitely be the headline. Holy smokes.
When do we
Now,
start really talking about that?
if he doesn't pull up tomorrow, we'll talk about it.
Well,
For a fact.
I know that, but I guess I'm referring to
Training camp. Once you get to that second week of training camp,
because we haven't even talked about really his number like that. Whereas
Second
Deontay, that was at least a couple times a week.
because we know about the number, because it was either he tweeted it or it got leaked out that he was looking for like the teens.
Oh yeah,
The 20,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what it was. Once
Yeah,
that
you're
info
right.
came out, because it was after the Pro Bowl. Like we knew at the Pro Bowl he wanted a new contract, but we didn't know the numbers. We were thinking, okay, 14, 15, like we can make something
But
like that.
then, oh, you know what? Too, it was all those other
Yeah,
receiver
'cause we
contracts
saw,
that were happening too.
We saw the
yeah,
Kirk, Christian Kirk, he signed, and we were
McLaurin.
like, what the heck is this? Then McLaurin, then all, yeah, you're right. All them
AJ
dudes.
Brown
Yeah. And that's when we found out with the number that he was looking for.
might have been cheap
It
actually.
was like, how much he say? What? And that's why. Yeah, literally. But because
Well, it was a bargain. It was
Yeah.
initially 15.
yeah, but because we knew so early,
Yeah.
watching everybody else get paid, that's what we were like, yeah, I guess this is the new market now. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Highsmith, I honestly think it's almost more interesting
I
because
think
I don't know
he's
how
a
much of it
master.
is market related. It's more of just like
Yeah.
you got your guy in TJ.
Right.
Obviously, Highsmith's worth something. So I think it's a very vague
It
number
is.
that you can argue. I think it
It
could go
is.
from like 10 to 18.
I agree.
think it's a wider range than
I promise
Deontay's.
you I agree because I'm just like, do you look at the 14 and a half and you say that's great, but I still have TJ. I still have all this other around me. And yes, I do think that your numbers were dope and you made plays, but did your 14 and a half feel like a TJ Watt 14 and a half? Like when we feel like TJ can just like shut a game down, you're like, bro, what is he on? Like we don't get those feelings typically. So when you're talking about how much you're willing to pay while having that guy already on your roster and he's already making 100, it's like that's the part where you, like you said, man, it can make you not want to overspend in that position group right there. And part of that, when you look at them drafting Nate Herbig as well, it does kind of give you the, well, maybe they already are trying to prepare for that scenario if it came to that. Not saying that it will, and I don't think it will, but they're just kind of like, let's position ourselves just in case, because we don't know how this negotiation is going to go. We don't know. This is the first time we're going to see it with Highsmith is on. If Highsmith come out there and he's like, I want 18, he has an argument for 18.
Right.
Like a legitimate argument for 18.
Yeah, Bud got what, 16?
16, yeah.
And that was after
Right.
getting an ACL.
It's
surgery.
ACL, and he didn't have 14 and a half sacks.
No.
This
it
like this
was less
14
than
and a
10,
half,
yeah.
this is healthy, and it wasn't the crazy spike in production that Bud experienced. Remember, Bud was 4, 4, 4, 10, 8, and we're like, whoa, okay. With Highsmith, it's been a gradual increase the whole time. So with that, man, I could definitely, see if he did come in on that energy of this is what I want, this is what I've earned, and I was a third rounder, Bud was a first rounder. That also plays into it because you're not walking around acting like you already got M's in the bank. You a nice, high end thousandaire, but you don't have what them first rounders already have right now. So, yeah, it's just a lot they could go into that. But like I said, I don't think Highsmith is going to be on that. I think Highsmith is just going to want what's fair for him. But I don't think he's going to be tripping, trying to force his hand to do that type of. But if he does, man, like I said, we can't fault it. But I don't think he will personally.
You have any predictions? Early predictions. What's the number per year?
I'm stuck between 14 and 16. Bro.
I was just about to say 14 and 16. I was gonna say 14 feels like the number.
Like 14 or 5. 15. I love 14-5. I think 14-5 is the team side. I think 16 is if it's Highsmith side. Like that's kind of why I lean with it, bro. Like 14 and a half sacks as a pass rusher, bro. Like you're not telling me it's less than like I can't take less than 14 or 14 and a half of them things. And this wasn't a fluke year.
Make it a multi-year deal, lock them up for 3-4 years.
Heavy on my signing bonus. Heavy on my signing bonus. If you do me 14 and a half, I need 10 up front, 4 for the base salary, or you give me 12 up front, 2 for the base salary. It's not going to kill you year one. And then we'll go ahead and disperse that over like a 4-year deal. And we good that way, man. Yeah, like that's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, I would find it very hard to see him taking less than 14. Now, if he does, it's great for the team. Great for the team. And he might be like, man, I could take 10 a year and be awesome. And you absolutely can. I'm just saying, if you got a chance to maximize your market within the organization and you know you can get more off of that, man, yeah, you can never have enough, man. You can never have enough. Not in a negative sense, but just in the sense of like, this is too short of a career span, man. This is too violent of a game. You don't have a lot of opportunities to just, I'll get it back later. I can leave this on. I'll get it back later because you're one play away literally every time you're out there, man.
Marine Misk says, I'd give him a 4-year with a nice upfront guarantee before we have to pay Pickett if he shows up.
I respect that, man. And when you do heavy signing bonus, that allows you that type of flexibility. But that also, it's double-sided. You get the flexibility on the front end, but on the back end, that's when you start hearing about those cap hits, right? And the dead money associated. Okay, well, this guy's only getting $2 million base salary, or he's only getting $10 million base salary in year for this deal. We cut him, but yet, he's still going to have $10 million counting against or $7 million counting against. Like, why does that happen? Even though we cut him, we're not paying him any base salary because he already got that signing bonus paid out. That money that already comes in year one or any of that guaranteed money that he gets in roster bonuses and stuff like that. When you're cutting or you're trying to move on a different direction, that's when those bills come back due. So it does work like a credit card like that. And that only becomes a negative if Kenny balls out. And then it doesn't become a negative. It becomes a great situation because you trade pass rushers for franchise quarterbacks. Like if it came to that of, well, shoot, we got to pay Kenny now. Hey, you're not tripping when it comes to that, man. You're going to do whatever it takes to do that because now you have the guy. You don't need all these other pieces when you got the guy. You need all these other pieces when you don't got the guy.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you'd want to do. I'm sure you're going to say yeah, but should we ask the chat who they think their big storyline? What's their big storyline prediction
man.
Coming out of the OTAs?
Ask the people.
Well, that's my question. Drop your big storylines to look out for with these OTAs, or at least give a prediction of what do you think is going to be making the headlines.